Beginning. The day everything went wrong. The only reason I was on Station Arcanes 4 in the first place was because my ship decided that the middle of my delivery route was the perfect place to die. It wasn't a glamorous vessel, more like a barely legal transport shuttle with peeling paint, a sputtering reactor core, and a navigation system that sometimes forgot what year it was. But it was mine. I had drifted for 12 hours before a patrol tug latched onto me and dragged me to the nearest port, Arcanes 4, a massive orbital trade hub known for exactly two things: unbelievably corrupt customs officers and being the crossroads between civilized space and the region everyone politely called the exclusion frontier. I'd planned to stay one night, just long enough to patch the ship, refuel, and get the hell out before someone tried to mug me, recruit me, or tax me. Instead, I ended up bleeding out on the floor of a med bay with a woman standing over me. A woman who wasn't human. And as she raised the blade and slit her palm open, letting shimmering silver blood well up, she said something that still haunts me. "Human, I warn you, my blood will save you, but it will not leave you unchanged." If I hadn't been half-conscious and dying, maybe I would have questioned her more. Maybe I would have said no. But I didn't. I nodded. And she let a drop of that metallic blood fall onto my tongue. Everything after that became pain and light and memory and voices that weren't mine. I woke up 3 days earlier, not knowing that the real consequences had only just begun. The middle, the alien woman, and the truth behind her blood won. Her name was Kaylee's. I came to in a white medbed surrounded by medical tools I didn't recognize, sleek, sharp instruments made from materials Earth labs couldn't dream of. For a few seconds I assumed I'd been kidnapped. Then she walked in. Tall, over 6 feet. Skin like polished obsidian. Eyes luminous silver, shifting like molten metal. Hair braided into intricate patterns that glowed faintly at the edges. Not monstrous. Not frightening. Just impossibly other. She saw I was awake and let out a low hum that sounded like relief. "Your physiology stabilized," she said. "The bond didn't reject you." I stared at her, still trying to process the words forming in my brain. Bond. Kaylee's tilted her head. "You don't remember?" "No," I said slowly. "Last thing I remember is getting stabbed in a docking bay by that gang of scrap pirates." She nodded. "Your wounds were fatal. Station medics lacked the necessary equipment. The only viable option was infusion." "Infusion? You mean your blood?" Her gaze sharpened. "Human, do you understand what I did for you?" "Not really. That's why I'm asking." For a moment she didn't answer. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "My species is called the Seraph. Our blood is not biological fluid. It is a reservoir of memory, instinct, and power. To share it is to bind fates." I blinked. "Bind fates?" "You carry me," she said softly, touching her palm to her chest, then to mine. "And I carry you." I swallowed hard. "So, I'm part alien now." Kaylee's hesitated. "No, not alien, but no longer entirely human." I sat up too fast, and dizziness washed over me. "Great," I muttered. "Just what I needed." But the truth was, I didn't feel weaker. I felt stronger. Too strong. My vision was sharper. My hearing picked up voices in the hallway that should have been out of range. My hands tingled with a faint humming energy. "What exactly did you put in me?" I asked. Kaylee's looked guilty. "Enough to save your life. More than enough to end it, if mishandled. 2, the others come looking." I didn't have much time to adjust. On the second day after waking, Arcanes 4's alarms exploded through the station. Kaylee's and I rushed to the observation bay, where massive reinforced shutters were sealing shut. "What is it?" I asked. Kaylee's pressed her hand to the viewing glass before the shutters closed. Her expression tightened. They found us. Who? The void clade. The name meant nothing to me, but her voice made my stomach drop. What do they want? Her eyes flicked toward me. My blood. The pieces crashed together. You said your blood carries power, I said. So they want what I gave you, Kaylee said, stepping closer. But humans are incompatible with forced extraction. They will tear you apart to reach the hybridization node forming in your veins. I froze. Hybridization node? Kaylee's grimaced. A focus where Sereth energy stabilizes in another being, usually harmless, until someone tries to cut it out. I felt suddenly sick. So, I'm basically a glowing beacon saying free treasure here to a bunch of alien monsters? Kaylee's didn't deny it. We must leave. Now. 3. Running through a dying station. Arcanes, 4 descended into chaos. Lights flickered. Atmosphere seals hissed. Dockworkers screamed as pressure doors slammed shut. The void clade weren't subtle. They tore through the outer hull like a parasite ripping into a carcass. Kaylee's grabbed my wrist and pulled me through a maintenance corridor. Can we talk about the part where I didn't ask for any of this? I said breathlessly. You accepted, she shot back. I was dying. That does not negate choice. Well, maybe give me the terms and conditions next time. A thunderous boom shook the wall beside us, sending dust raining down. Kaylee shoved me ahead. There may not be a next time. We rounded a corner, and a void-clad warrior smashed through a bulkhead in front of us. It was enormous, 8 feet tall, skin like cracked stone, and a jaw full of serrated teeth. Glowing purple sigils crawled across its armor. It locked its eyes on me. Kaylee stepped in front of me immediately. He is under my protection. The creature snarled. Then you break your oath, Sereth. Your blood is not to be shared with primitives. Kaylee stiffened. I decide whom I save. The void-clade lunged. Kaylee's moved faster. Her hand surged with silver energy as she struck the creature's chest, sending it flying into the wall hard enough to crack metal. I stared. That was... Later, she hissed, grabbing me again. Move. 4. The truth about Sereth blood. We reached her shuttle hidden in a forgotten hangar bay. Sleek. Silver. Definitely not human-made. The doors sealed behind us, locking out the sound of battle outside. Okay, I said, panting. You need to explain. Now. Kaylee's hesitated, then nodded. Among the Sereth, giving blood is forbidden. Our blood contains echoes. Power. History. Only our chosen heirs may receive it. Chosen as in royalty? No, she said quietly. Chosen as in destiny. A soul aligned with ours. A bondmate. I blinked. What now? Kaylee's looked almost embarrassed. It is not romantic as humans interpret it. It is fate-binding. Life-binding. When I gave you my blood, I made you part of my lineage. My memories. My instincts. My power. Forever. My jaw dropped. You're telling me I'm basically married to you? She frowned. Humans oversimplify. That's not an oversimplification. Kaylee stepped closer, voice softening. I warned you. You accepted. The bond formed. Because I was dying, and now you live. I rubbed my face. And now people want to kill me because of it. Kaylee's didn't argue. Yes. Which is why I must undo it. I froze. Undo it. Her silver eyes darkened. At the end of this journey, you will have to give the power back. And giving it back will end your life. 5. Destiny isn't as optional as people think. We fled Arcanes, for just before the void clade breached the hangar. Kaylee's piloted with supernatural calm, weaving through debris and ruptured ships. "So let me get this straight," I said. "You saved me, gave me part of your essence or whatever. Now you're saying the only way to fix this is for me to die." "That is the usual outcome," she said plainly. "Usual? As in this has happened before. 1 human a century. 2 survived. Briefly. That is not comforting. It was not meant to be." I threw my hands up. "Great. Fantastic. Love that for me." Kaylee's didn't react. Instead, she placed a hand on my chest. I flinched at the warmth that spread from her touch. Not physical warmth, something deeper. Familiar. Like remembering a dream I'd never had. "You feel it," she murmured. "The bond." I swallowed. "What does it want? Completion, unity, or separation if you choose death?" "Well, excuse me for not liking those options." Kaylee's held my gaze. "There is a third." I leaned forward. "Now would be a good time to tell me." Her voice dropped. "Fight for it." I blinked. "Fight the void clade?" "No." "Fight the bond. Force it to evolve. Force it to adapt to human biology in a way it never has." I stared at her. "That's possible?"
"No," she said.
"But humans have accomplished many impossible things. The ending, the bond, the sacrifice, and what we chose won. The place where the blood began." Kaylee's guided the ship to a derelict moon orbiting a dead star. At the center of the moon was a cavern of smooth silver stone, pulsing faintly with the same glow as Kaylee's veins. "This is where the Seraph were born," she said. "This is where bonds form and where they break." The void-clade ship warped into orbit minutes later. "They followed us," I whispered. "They would," she said. We entered the heart of the cavern. A circular platform hummed to life beneath our feet. "This is the crucible," she said. "Stand still." "And this will do what, exactly?" "Force the bond to reveal its true shape." That didn't help much. But I stepped onto the platform anyway. Kaylee stepped opposite me. She raised her palm, still faintly scarred from the cut she'd made to save me. "Human, this is your last chance to turn back." I shook my head. "You saved me. I'm seeing this through." Her expression softened, the first time I'd seen her look anything but composed. "Then hold on." 2. The crucible awakens. Light burst upward. My chest ignited with burning silver fire, and a web of veins glowed beneath my skin. Kaylee's glow intensified, her entire body radiating with blinding energy. The bond connected us, like a rope made of pure instinct, emotion, and memory. Suddenly, I felt everything. Her fear. Her duty. Her centuries of loneliness. Her hope that maybe, just maybe, this human idiot she'd saved might survive the impossible. The void clade crashed into the cavern above, roaring as they descended the walls. Kaylee's turned to me. "Choose," she shouted. "Give it back and die, or force it to evolve." "I choose to live." I roared. "Then fight." 3. Humans are not built to break. We are built to adapt. The energy surged. My body convulsed. I felt the Seraph power tearing at my cells, but something resisted. Something human. Something stubborn and furious and determined not to die. The bond twisted, screamed, reformed. Kaylee staggered, wide-eyed. "It's changing," she whispered. The void clade charged us. Kaylee's raised her hand to fight them, but I stepped forward. The energy in my chest exploded outward. A shockwave of silver light tore through the cavern, sending the void clade flying like ragdolls. The power stabilized. I straightened, heart hammering, but alive. Kaylee stared at me like she was seeing a miracle. You did it, she breathed. No human has ever. A void-clad warrior lunged at her from behind. I moved without thinking. My hand glowed silver as I slammed my palm into its chest. The same move Kaylee's had used. It flew backward and crashed into the stone. Kaylee stared at me. You carry my strength, she whispered. And you carry mine, I said. That's what you told me. For a moment, in that dying cavern, surrounded by enemies and glowing stone, we simply looked at each other. Bond mates. Not by destiny, by choice. 4. What happened after we left the moon after sealing the cavern behind us? The void-clad, what remained of them, fled rather than face us again. Kaylee's watched the stars from the cockpit, her silver eyes soft. You should have died, she said. Thanks for the reminder. You survived the impossible. You reforged the bond. You made it human. I shrugged. Adaptability is kind of our thing. She stepped closer. Human, you never asked why I saved you. I figured you'd tell me if you wanted. I saved you because you screamed for help, she said softly. Not out loud, but in your mind, in your heart. And the Seraph, we hear such things. I swallowed. And now, she said, placing her palm on my chest where the bond pulsed faintly, we face whatever future this creates. Together. I met her gaze. Together, I said. The stars stretched before us. Two beings, neither fully human nor fully seraph, bound not by blood alone, but by the choice to survive.